Mic check 1 2. Can you guys hear me? How we doing out there, guys? Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking in. Remember, this is our recap of the weekend. If you're in there, if you can hear me, please drop a comment on. We're trying to get this camera started up in just a moment, and we're going to be going live at 10:30. So we got about 2 minutes, guys. Please go ahead, get yourself checked in. Take advantage of the opportunity to do the survey, get that completed, and we will be live and on the air in just a couple of minutes. We will be covering a recap of Saturday, Sunday, and this morning's walk and talk. So thank you for being here early, guys. Thank you for coming and finding us. Thank you for your participation. I will be answering questions again this morning as well in regards to the discipline dividend, how it is beneficial, how it can be of a benefit to you. I have about 1 minute, guys. So if you can, just go ahead and drop into the chat what time it is, where you're checking in from, your location, where you're checking in from, what time you have there. We'll go ahead and get that started, and we'll be right with you in just a moment. And good morning, people. How are we doing today? How's everyone doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back. This is Oloropo. Welcome to B&V Finance Fixers and the recap, the weekend recap. Thank you for being here. Hope everyone's doing okay. It is 10:30 here local time in the DMV. We're on the East Coast of the United States. If you guys are checking in from other areas, please do me a favor. Go ahead and drop into the chat where you're checking in from, what time it is, where you are. Hola, Andy. Idari, tu tío Andy. So Idaria is your niece, is that correct? Okay. And Hussein, hi. Uh, Andrew Tate, that's cute. I think I'm no, a little darker than Andrew Tate. Haven't spent, I didn't do the kickboxing. So thank you for being here. Is it Abu Bakar? Abu Bakar, yes. If I'm saying that correctly, let me know. Hey guys, as you check in, let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know what time it is where you're checking in from. I appreciate having you guys here as always. As we do on B&V Finance Fixers, we will always cover the things that are relevant and important to development. It's important and it's a part of our growth. And it's very, very key to us building wealth and building prosperity and building a lifelong legacy. Because as we say here at B&V Finance Fixers, legacy starts at home, right? So we can look as much as we want to out into the world, look at other people, look at what other people can offer. From Germany, hey, welcome in from Germany. Thank you for checking in. And are you saying it is 7:40, 7:39 p.m.? All right. So one of the things that you want to do, one of the things that we always want to do, we always want to keep in mind, hello, hello, hello from, is that Japan? Or that's Japan, correct? I cannot make out the symbols. I can't read that. But hello, thanks for coming in again. I believe we've been here together before. What time are you doing checking in there? So we're going to get into it. We're going to recap the weekend. I like recapping the weekend. I like taking this opportunity to recap. Yes, Japan. Whoa, got it right. Awesome. I should get a thumbs up for getting it right. I got Japan correct. I should get a thumbs up for that. So in Abu Bakr, the same thing. If I said that correct, Abu Bakr, if I said it correct, make sure I get a thumbs up from you as well. I appreciate you guys being here. And so, as always, you know, we start the day, we live with positivity. We start the day with motivations. I want to send out blessings to everyone out there to let you know that it is in faith and it is in worship that we all are able to build the future that we're looking for. We're all able to identify who we are and what way we're traveling. I appreciate everyone taking the time to stop in and check in. And as always, people, take an opportunity to stop past the channel. Take an opportunity to take a look at the content that's up on the channel. And we're going to get started in just a few moments. It is 10:30. I know West Coast United States is somewhere around 7:30. So for those of us who are getting up, headed out to the gym, if we're already at work, on our way to work, or if we're just doing our routine with our family, I do know a lot of the United States is currently celebrating spring break. It's always about us being focused on development and growth. It's always about us understanding that in order for us to be able to grow in any way, in order for us to be able to create a legacy, build a path, and set up ourselves for prosperity in the future, it starts with discipline. And that discipline starts with us. So we need to have a rooted faith, we need to have a mindset of growth, and we need to be able to live in that. All right. And so, Bear Milk, welcome in. How are we doing today? Thank you for being a part of the chat, guys. If you're just checking in, please let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know what time it is where you're checking in from. And like I said before, we're going to give it a couple more minutes. I usually give it about 10 or 15 minutes before we get into the heart of the chat, but we'll get going momentarily and we'll start to share this information about the things that were covered this weekend. From Scotland, 3:34 p.m. Welcome in, Scotland. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And if you could do me a favor, go ahead and drop a thumbs up and get ready for what we're going to cover. Again, on these recaps, I cover every morning. I do a walk and talk. It's from 4:30 to 5 a.m. And there's a different topic that we cover every morning. And so over this past few days, what we have covered on Saturday, we covered courage. And then on Sunday, we covered vision. And then this morning, we covered focus. And so what that means are these are all elements that are leadership qualities. These are leadership skill sets. And when you couple those with the ability to be able to um, uh, implement discipline into the different areas of your life, they allow for you to exponentially increase all areas that you apply it to. So any area that you choose to apply that particular discipline, you're going to see exceptional growth, development, and just a phenomenal rate of return. So to get started, guys, as I said before, blessings, blessings, blessings indeed. Um, we're going to start with where we started on the weekend. And Saturday was about courage. It came up as fear. And so essentially what we're looking at, people, is when we talk about having a focus and we talk about having a purpose and a plan, understanding, again, always the four pillars of discipline are repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. These are four corners. You throw these four pillars up, they're going to allow for you to build a foundation upon which you can work towards mastery, and you are guaranteed to achieve success along that climb. And so when we talk about the elements of leadership qualities or leadership competencies that are necessary in order for us to be able to strengthen that growth, to strengthen our development along that path, the things that we're going to focus on are going to be our ability to be self-aware and self-accountable. So having self-awareness and holding ourselves accountable to the standards that we set for ourselves is paramount. And the reason this is paramount is because as time passes, we are going to be the only ones who are capable of saying whether or not we are actually assessing ourselves, we are actually holding ourselves to these standards, because so much of it can be external. So much of what we can experience, so much of the challenges that we incur can be external. If we internalize those external issues and those external experiences and we make them our own, we create for ourselves our own challenges. We create for ourselves our own difficulty. Rahul, India. What part of India? I'm going to take a wild shot. I think you guys are 8 hours time difference. Man, is it like 2 o'clock in the morning in India? What time is it there? Let me know what time it is. Hey, how are you doing, baby bird, soaring bird? Welcome. Thank you for saying hi. Carlos, God bless. Thank you very much, Carlos. I appreciate that. Myanmar, it's been a credit. Thank you, Kevin, from checking in from Myanmar. Think Smart. Hello. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for being a part. And so, if you guys can make sure as you stop in, go ahead, drop a little thumbs up. I appreciate you guys being here. A like and a comment, that would be great. And also, if you could check in with where you're from, what time it is where you are, that would also be great. Oh, there's my wife, Kimberly Bird. My wonderful wife is here. She's saying hi. So also, guys, so as we're going to start to do this recap, we're going to start to cover what we've seen in the baby birds. And so as we cover what we've experienced, what we've seen, what we've been through this weekend, I titled this intentionally to say, don't let your weekend keep you from having a strong start, or how to turn your weekend into a strong start. All right, be careful. There was an earthquake in Myanmar. All right, so are you sharing with someone in Myanmar? Job or just something you like to do. So this is indeed my focus. It is the path of my life, not just something that I do, but it's a part of my purpose. And so in doing this, I am living my purpose. The 4:30 walk-in talks, it just started as 4:30 of me heading out and walking, and they've turned into more. Christopher Hooligan, I gave money to the homeless man. Okay. All right, Christian, I think we're going to skip over most of that. Uh, Nikki, all right, you give away all of your money, Nikki? Okay. And that's Nikki and Lennon. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get back to what we covered this weekend. So what we covered this weekend is this. As I said before, we did a Saturday was on courage. Sunday was on vision, and this morning was on focus. So courage is overcoming fear. Courage is simply saying that fear is the expectations of a future result that's going to be negative. So it's the belief that something or someone or may impact our life negatively if we choose a specific path. And so fear, when we do that by choosing this path, it creates in us this inability to act. It holds us back. And remember, guys, I'm gonna ask you again, if you get an opportunity when you stop by, please check in. Please let us know where you're checking in from and what time of day it is. Right. And so again, right. So even if you're speaking Elmi, even if you're speaking about the fear of God isn't in terms of the word fear. So when you go back and you get the Hebrew translation, it's a whole bunch about it. What it's saying is that the fear of God should work as a power in your life, or as a respect of God's authority and position in your life. And it should allow for you to make decisions that will push you forward based on the things that you would do otherwise. That's a whole other thing. We can have a whole discussion about it later. If you stop by the page, I actually have my email and my information. You can drop me an email there. We can connect directly and have a deeper conversation about that. So when it comes to courage or overcoming fear, what we're talking about is oftentimes when we create a plan for ourselves, when we have a a purpose and a direction in our life, coming into any time of challenge or any time of indecision is often driven by fear. And so even on a job, one of the examples I like to use is if you work on a job and you believe that you have the answer to something, even if that answer turns out being wrong, you have to take the opportunity to be able to say, hey, I am able to share this with you. My answer may be wrong, but I want to share this. So you have to be brave enough. You have to have enough courage to be wrong. And I think for a lot of people, that's one of the things that can hold us back is if we don't make enough mistakes, right? We have to make enough mistakes in order to start making things right. Growing up as children, we have to understand we need to get enough things wrong to just get things right. Hey, John, thanks for stopping in. I do not do bait questions, but thank you for being here. Um, Thank you, Princess, also for being here. I would like you guys to make sure you let me know where you're checking in from. Drop your information in. Guys, so here's the thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. What I do here is all about development and growth. Um, for God is the beginning of wisdom. Indeed, Donald. So everything I do here is about positivity. It's about growth. It's about personal development, right? And I try my best not to remove people from the stream. I try my best not to take people out of the chat. I take every opportunity to allow for people to have a voice and to participate and be a part. The thing that we have to understand, guys, because this is important, right? Um, the thing that we have to understand is as we start to become a part of something, and I'm going to share this with everyone in the chat. When you want to do something in your life, when you have a focus, when you start to work on something, when you have discipline, there are going to be people who will hate you because they cannot do what you're doing. They're either incapable of doing so because fear keeps them from taking the steps, or they're unwilling to do so, or there's something else that's going on. And so what happens is people have a tendency to step out and they choose this platform so that they'll allow them to hate from a distance. But here's the thing, the reason I choose not to take people out of the stream, the reason I choose not to censor people's voices, the reason I choose not to put people down is because when you come in here, everything that you do, I am a YouTube creator at this point. When you come into my live and you put in comments and you say things that are not beneficial or things that are not positive, if you make derogatory remarks, YouTube doesn't care. YouTube isn't reading your remarks. YouTube is not going to come out and say, hey, because you made these remarks, we're going to shut you down. YouTube will even allow for me to have the right to keep or delete the remark. But here's the thing that you guys have to understand. If you're making negative comments, it's still interaction on my channel. It's still showing impressions. It's still showing that I have a live stream that has currently been running for 20 minutes. I have 25 people active and the chat is popping. So even every negative or derogatory statement you make is a positive towards my end. Because what happens is the more negative comments to make, the more derogatory comments you make, the more nasty things you say, as bad as they may be, it's activity in the stream. And because there is activity in the stream, YouTube pushes me higher and higher and higher on the live. So what happens is the more negative things you say, the higher up I go, the more positive people who can build off of what I'm saying, who will be able to internalize and get the benefits about what I'm saying, they'll be able to see and hear my voice. So I do not turn people off. I let those people continue to say what they want to say, understanding even though what you're demonstrating is hate, it's allowing for me to be great. And so I'm going to continue to share with those who would like to hear. Keep in mind that every negative thing you say is helping me get stronger and stronger on YouTube. It's growing my presence, it's growing my reach, and it's growing my ability to be able to provide for my family, right? So I'm going to continue with where I was at. We started, as I said, with courage, which is overcoming fear, and we could take a lot of steps in that. And a lot of people, and this is for the people out there who are listening to the stream and who are here to receive the positivity of the message about discipline, about working hard in our life, understanding our life is our purpose, and in order for us to achieve great wealth, in order for us to achieve success on our job, in order for us to achieve happiness, our family, that it's going to require and that it's going to require um, an investment in ourselves. It has to be a continuous effort on our part. It has to be on purpose. Sonny, thanks for stopping in, Sonny. Uh, Rabani, also thank you for stopping in from the Philippines. Hello, guys, welcome in. And so, one of the things that you have to understand is when you are looking to make this growth and you're looking to do this, there is a fear, and there are people out there who would like to put fear into your life. People who would like to get you to stop taking steps and growing. You have to overcome that. You have to make sure in your own presence. Thank you very much. You have to make sure in your own presence, in your own life, that you are controlling the reins. You're not letting others distract you, because distractions coupled with fear will freeze you in place. They'll stop you from being productive. They'll prevent you from having your voice. They'll prevent you from achieving the task and reaching the goals that you want to reach for yourself. This is why we have to be intentional about our behaviors. So overcoming fear, courage has to be intentional. It can't just be a matter of, okay, well, I occasionally find difficult opportunities and I'm able to engage with them. Courage is saying I am looking for those spaces in which I can grow. And because those spaces are challenging, I am continually overcoming fear. I am approaching my life and living with courage by seeking out the challenge and being intentional about my growth. Kim Jung, welcome in. Hello, how are you doing? All right, Goku said yes, and they do try, but when your mind is dead set on investing, then they don't win. Exactly. And that is the next thing. That is the second thing that we covered, which is vision, right? And so, how does vision work? Vision is about being able to understand and make a plan. It's not just about saying, I wish my life was a certain way. I wish I was capable of doing the different things, or I hope I make it sometime. Vision is about understanding that there are specific steps and actions. There is a path to travel to achieve your goal, right? And so if it's a fitness goal, if it's a goal at work to increase, to get a promotion, or if it's a goal to make more money, whether it's a relationship goal, whatever it is, we know that there has to be a plan. There are specific plans that you can lay out. Even if you have a plan to grow your faith, if you want to grow your faith, you have to lay out a plan. You have to set aside time and be intentional on your meditation and your devotion. And so once that starts to happen, you have a vision, and the ability to articulate that vision, not just to others, but to yourself, is what makes that real. Because an articulable vision means that you can now do it continuously, right? You can implement repetition that will become consistency, and you'll see that growth in that way. Rabina, how do you create a plan to start working on your life? Like, I don't know where to start at all. So the first thing that you want to do, and I always suggest this to everyone, is you want to find faith. You have to find a way to create or to establish faith and peace. You have to find your purpose. You have to find out what it is in your life that is your purpose and is your thing to do, right? Once you do that, and that requires some time to sit down, we have to find out what happiness is for us. And then how do we get to that happiness? There's a lot of different ways to do it. And we have to take these things step by step. And it may start with little things. It may start with, hey, I want to get a job. I just want to have a job, and I want to work consistently. Or maybe I just want to get up at a certain time. Maybe we already have a job and we just want to work in a different capacity, or we want to get a raise, or we want to get a promotion. And so there's so many different ways in which we can go on that. But without us sitting down, and this is part of what I do with the discipline dividend, is I help people find those things out. As I said before, you can get directly from the website. There's a link where you can get the download for the discipline dividend strategy. It's in the bio. You can request that, and then you could also have an opportunity to reach out with me directly, and we can discuss some of the opportunities to contribute to the coaching as well. Um, Buy that 9-car hauler, Goku. That's what I'm talking about. And then Rabini, if you check that out on the website, as I said before, you can reach out to me directly, but you can also download the 5-step discipline dividend strategy, and we can have a direct conversation. I want to be a millionaire at least 4 million. Maggie, same thing. If this is what you're looking to do, and this is an honest assessment of what you're looking to do, then what you have to do is get that focus, make sure that's in the forefront of what you're doing, and then stay focused on developing it. Stay focused on reaching it by putting in the work. And you do that on a daily basis. You do that with repetition, right? We want to make sure that, so if you just if you tap the icon for the page icon, it'll take you to the page. And then where it says see more, you can hit see more, or the link may be, or learn more about the page, or the link may be right there. You just tap the link. It's a Google link. You fill out the information, and we'll make sure that we get the discipline dividend emailed directly to you. We'll have it emailed directly to you. We're not selling information. There'll be no follow-up phone calls. There'll be nothing like that. It's just the information for you. If you put in and you want to contact through the email, we do have contact at bnvfinancefixers.com. You have the ability to do it there as well. Is it the free 2DS? It is. You just submitted a request. We'll make sure that we get that out to you as quickly as possible. And if you go to the email and you want to have a discussion, or you want to talk further about it, we can also have discussions about how to implement that directly into your life. So it's not just a matter of, hey, here are some steps, but here's some actionable activities. Here's some actual things that you can do. And thank you so much for taking the time to ask those questions. Empress, good morning. How are you doing, Empress? And so all of the things that we want to do is making sure, as I said before, we're covering the weekend. And this is a recap of what we did this weekend. And we're covering how the things that we do over the weekend can set us up for a strong start, right? So set us up for a strong beginning. So now we have the weekend where what we went through this weekend, I'll have enough in about 2 months to buy one, all cash. I don't require a lot to live, but with the CDL, I get paid good. There you go. So that's that life vision. And that's one of the things that Rabini is talking about is how do we get started? And one of the things is understand what it is you're looking for, understand the process, and then how to get into it, right? Then start taking those steps. Start understanding, as I said before, discipline has 4 pillars, right? This isn't an overnight thing. It starts with repetition. There needs to be something that we can do on a consistent basis, all right? And then, hey, how you doing, OG? Welcome in, man. Thank you for being here. So we have to be able to do it with repetition. We have to be patient, understanding that I'm not just going to be able to sit here and do this for 18 straight hours and everything is going to be fixed. Then there has to be consistency where we understand that that repetition now has to be done at a level. This is where the vision comes in. It has to be done at a level that as we travel along our path, we're going to be able to see improvement. We're going to be able to see ourselves get better. And then it's going to have perseverance, because you will have challenges. You will encounter people who don't want to see you successful. You will have people who tell you you can't do it because they haven't done it. You will have setbacks, difficulties, possibly a loss of money, possibly a change in cost, possibly a change in the economic environment that can create different things. But what you have to do is understand that your mindset, right? Your mindset and your belief in yourself, your faith, your understanding of your purpose, when you tie those things together, right? When you have all 3 of these, exactly. And so these are the things that we take into our life, right? So when you tie these things together and you start to move towards your future, it's going to always be supported by that discipline. And understanding that purpose means that no matter what comes up, any decisions that are made that are aligned with the goal, no matter how difficult the decision may be, will always be the appropriate decision. You don't have to worry about, am I taking the right action? Because the right action will be driven by what we do, right? The right action will be driven by us understanding our purpose and knowing that the things that we do are going towards that growth. They're going towards our development, right? And they're going towards our goal, right? Now, so far what we've covered is fear, right? Courage, the overcoming of fear, which is courage, right? We've covered vision, understanding that we need to know where we're going. We have to understand that we have a direction. We need to understand that in order to achieve it, of course, I am on my back deck right now, and I have FedEx above my head and next to me delivering. And so once we understand that are we there? Okay, we're back. Sorry, are we there? Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Give me just a moment. Give me just a moment, guys. Let me fix this. Oh, man. All right, my apologies for that, guys. If you're still here, if you can see me, you can hear me, please drop a thumbs up. Let me know if you're still here, if you can hear me. I'm not sure. I know that just had like an interruption. It was like a drop or a break in the signal. Visualize the image. Work the process that creates the image, which is focus, and voila, and and voila, manifestation. All right. No, not blind, but the glasses do help protect my eyes from bright sunlight, UV rays. Right. The audio did keep coming out. Is the audio better now? Are you guys better able to hear me right now in this moment? Let me see. Is this better? Are you guys? Let me know if you can hear me correctly, guys. I apologize for the interference. This is kind of the area that I live in. We do have quite a few planes that fly over from time to time. And so now, if we've worked on our focus, one focus is going to be, we worked on the understanding that we need to have courage to overcome. That was Saturday. We walked and talked about that Saturday morning. JW47, thank you very much. Prophet, thank you for letting me know. Rabini, also, thank you as well. So once we have an understanding that we have learned to overcome fear, right? All of these things tie together. And I believe, who is this? OG just stated it earlier in the terms of visualize, which is the vision. The process that you have to go through in order to get it done, which is going to be overcoming your fears. That's courage. And then the focus to make sure you're being intentional, and then that brings the manifestation, right? And so all of these things are a part of what we have to do. Now, these are competencies. These things are independent of the discipline, right? The discipline itself just has 4 parts. But what happens is you will use all of these particular competencies within every area of the discipline, right? So the discipline starts with repetition, as I said before. You just have to find something and that you're working towards, and then you have to understand, I need to keep doing that thing. If it's fitness and you're saying, I'm gonna do it 3 times a week, okay, let's be committed. Let's do it 3 times a week. If you say I'm going to do it once a week, let's be committed. Let's make sure we're doing it once a week. And then once we start to go through the repetition of it, the repetition is what's going to build up for us this callus, this understanding, and this strength to understand this isn't going to break me. This isn't going to kill me. It's something I can do. No excuses, right? No more, oh, it's cold. No more, oh, it's raining. No more, no one is there for me. Whatever that thing is, it starts with repetition, and repetition does not need a level of performance in order to be good. It just needs to happen. If the repetition is in fitness and you're simply saying, hey, I want to just do 5 squats, or I just want to do 5 push-ups, then whatever it is what it is. And that's what you do. That's how you work. Blackbird, how are you doing? And so the next thing you want to do, now consistency is different than repetition. Here's the difference between consistency and repetition, even though they're very similar. Consistency requires a level of improvement, right? Consistency isn't just about showing up. It's about showing up and showing out, right? I like to use sports as an example, right? Because what sports will allow for you to do is I believe physical performance is one of the easiest ways to grade how anything works, right? Because it's a direct look at it. And with being physical, with developing yourself physically, everything that you say about why you can't do it outside of you having some physical ailment that prevents you from doing it, some physical abnormality, everything outside of it is just an excuse, right? So, oh, I can't do it because my knees hurt. Got knees, they might hurt. Okay, what's going on, right? Like you can do it, right? So, and so we start to do it. We start to do these things by understanding that repetition is the first part, right? And so repetition is simply saying, hey, if I want to do something, I can get up and do it. I just need to continue to do that thing over and over, right? So what does that mean? That means if we're going to say, I'm going to do push-ups, squats, I'm going to set aside $5 a day. I'm going to set aside $5 a week. Or if we're saying, okay, I want to go into work and I want to meet this certain metrics. I don't want to be late at any point over the next month. So I want to show up to work 15 minutes early every day. So then we look and we start to do that. Now, repetition means that it doesn't matter how well you do it. So if you say, hey, I want to show up to work 15 minutes early every day, right? Now you've created a consistency, because now you created I need to be there at a specific time so that I can check off A, B, C, and D. I want to be there 15 minutes early so I can get checked in. I can get my emails reviewed. I can see if there's been any changes over the weekend, all of those things. Now we're creating for ourselves a window of saying that, hey, I have a consistency. I have a plan to follow. If, however, you just say, I want to get to work on time, right? Getting to work on time is just getting to work on time, right? Or just getting to work is just getting to work. Like, I just need to get a job. I need to get to work. I need to get up and I need to go out and I need to find a job. It doesn't matter what time I get up. I need to just do this. Daily, I need to go until I find a job. I found a job, all right. I need to show up to the job. I need to just get to the job, right? And it's not about your performance on the job. It's not about how well you're doing. It's just about getting there, right? And it says, I'm more of a teacher in this area. Thanks. Awesome. That's great. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to share. And that's why I was saying like consistency is a little different from repetition, because what happens is when you get to, if you're working the entire day, Blackbird, man, you need to change some of that. So that's the whole point, is this is designed to help you have more time. So if you're intentional with your time, you shouldn't have to work all day, and you should have more time to do the things that you enjoy. And so we start off with the repetition, and then we move from the repetition to having patience to understand it's not going to happen immediately. And then we add on to that the understanding that consistency means that we have a plan, and this should show growth. And as we set up a plan of consistency, now we're going to grade what we do, right? So this is the difference from going to the gym to developing a workout plan. This is the difference from having a job to developing a growth plan. How am I going to grow in this job? What am I going to gain from this job or this experience that's going to make me better at my next job? And then the last part is perseverance, is understanding that we're going to go through difficulties, challenges, and change that we're going to have to continue to face as we grow, right? I shouldn't feel guilty for gaming an evening after working half a day physical. I don't know exactly what the experience is that you're having, but that sounds like something that's external. So that sounds like something that someone else is saying to you, and you're sharing here with us. I appreciate you sharing. But again, it's all on you. It's all about the life you want to live. It's all about your purpose. It's all about you understanding that. And if you understand your purpose and you understand your value and you understand the life you want to live, and this is a part of your purpose, then live your purpose. If this is what you want to be, because here's the thing, your life isn't dependent on the people who are around you, right? Your life is going to be dependent on you and your happiness. And so ultimately, if you're happy doing what you're doing, and this is why I'm saying this shouldn't be a complaint. I know what my purpose is, right? Here's the thing though, if what you just said, and I'm talking to Blackbird real quick about this, maybe we just another brick in the wall. So what I'm saying is you said here that I shouldn't feel guilty for gaming an evening after working half a day physical. You shouldn't feel guilty. If that's the life that you want to live. And who's that? Thaima, hello. Sierra Leone, welcome in West Africa. We're doing great today. Thank you for being in. And so what I'm saying to you, Blackbird, is this. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. Different people want different things to make them happy. You have to understand if the gaming makes you happier, because it's an external. The thing that's saying, hey, why are you on the game? That's not you. If that's internal, if that's how you feel internally, then you're not living your purpose. If, however, that's external, right? And happiness for you is I work, I pay my bills, I play my games, and I relax, right? If it helps me relax and it's a part of your purpose and you believe that it has value in your life, then you live that life. Now, here's the other part where you have to be self-aware and you have to be self-accountable. This is where you have to be able to see, you have to be able to focus. If it makes you feel guilty, and that's the thing, you just said it, but it does make me feel guilty, like I should do some more stuff. If this person or this thing outside of the game matters to you more than the game, then make the change. I do understand. I do feel you. Hey, I could tell you from a person who had a gaming addiction, and my wife had to bring it to my attention. And early on in our marriage, I stayed on the game constantly. And my wife was like, hey, I get it. Like, you're not out. You're not running the streets. You're not engaged in difficulties. You're not engaged in things that are going to bring you harm or bring harm to our family. I get it, but you're in the game, right? And so I was like, I had to take a hard look at that. And I'm like, okay, well, does this game matter more than my wife? What am I getting from it? I am relaxing, right? But why can't I relax with my wife? Then that became the first thing, right? That's the first thing is, how is it that I'm in this game and I'm relaxing, doing this thing that's a distraction from my purpose and my goal, yet I can't relax with my wife? Like I put this thing down, I lay next to my wife and I'm thinking about this game. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me, at least in that way. And so I had to make changes. I had to work on my focus. Blackberry says, waste of time because besides relaxing, you're not gaining things in life. And this is what I'm trying to say. These are all realizations and statements that you're making. Who is that? Ijoba? How are you doing? We're from the East Coast of the United States. We're in the DMV area. Thanks for being in. Where are you from? So that's what I'm trying to say, man, is that all of these things, they matter to you. Once they matter to you, once they become a part of who you are, once they become a part of your life, once these things matter to you, then you have to start making a change. Self-awareness and self-accountability is on you. You can have all of the discipline components because we have different areas of our life to apply them to. And as I think you've said so far, you apply them at your job, right? Because you work hard. So on your job, you show repetition. You're there when you need to be there, right? You show patience. You understand that your job is going to be from the start of the day to the end of the day, whatever time that is. You're there to work. So you're showing patience. You're showing consistency by not just showing up on the job, but doing your job, working so that you have a way to provide, right? And then the next thing you have is the perseverance. You go through the tough times. You understand that if the pay isn't what it's supposed to be, maybe it'll be there later. So once you get to that point and you have an understanding, and you said it's also Alaskan Goku said, you'd be great if gaming makes you sad. You'll have to find another way to entertain yourself. True. And you can enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I made a post. I posted a short recently. And I believe this. I believe this with all my heart. And it's also true. Growth in any area, right? Development in any area, we understand that there has to be an exchange, right? But I'm gonna share something with you. And this is important. Stay with me. To explode and exponentially increase growth in any area of your life, don't exchange, sacrifice, right? This is what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, an exchange is different than sacrifice, right? An exchange is, okay, I'm gonna spend less time on the game. I understand what you're saying. You're right, I'm gonna spend less time on the game because I do enjoy my time with you and I wanna spend more time with you, right? Sacrifice is this game, as I've already stated, as you said, this game, as enjoyable as it is, as much as I believe it helps me relax, it prevents me from doing more productive things with my time. It's interfering with the relationships that I have with people. It's interfering, the money that I spend on it and the time that I spend on it is interfering with my ability to be able to grow my legacy, to grow my wealth. Just these things alone, I'm going to sacrifice it. Boom, I'm cutting the game off. I don't play it anymore. I went to the point, and it took me years to overcome this process, because the first thing that I did is I said, okay, I'm gonna play the game less. I went through it. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna not get on a game, and then I'm just gonna have games on my phone. I went through it. And then it got to the point where it was like, man, I need to delete the games off. When I deleted the games off of my phone, it changed so many things, because if you're building in one area of your life and you're doing it correctly, it's going to positively impact so many other areas of your life. You're going to be healthier because you're not on the game as much. It's going to force you to get up. I'm not sitting down. I'm up. I'm moving around. Man, I'm healthier. Now, what's the next thing that's going to happen? Oh my goodness. So I'm not paying for the games. I'm not paying for add-ons. I'm not looking for the next version to come out. I'm not investing however much a month into the game. I have this money back in my life. Let's not waste it. Let's use it to do investments. Let's invest in the chips that they use in the game, or let's invest in the companies that make the game. And so now you have both a physical and a monetary benefit, and you have a time benefit, and now you have an emotional or relationship benefit as well, because you have a stronger connection with the people who are important to you and in your life. And this is over one thing. This is one thing. This is sacrificing. This is taking the game to the altar of your purpose and sacrificing it. And it's not just about, okay, I'm going to manage it differently. It's removing it from your life. Here's the thing though, that takes courage. When I tell you some of the things that we just covered this weekend, one of the things that we covered on Saturday was courage. It's overcoming fear. It's understanding that if I let this game go, right? And it doesn't always translate as I'm scared to do it. It translates as the way you said it earlier. Hey man, like, I'm just relaxing. It's not that big of a deal. Like, what's the problem? And fear has a tendency to do that. Fear has a tendency to mask itself as, I'm just happy. I'm just living my life. But then right after you said that, the ability to also be able to say, I get it, it's wasting my time. I get it, it's impacting my relationships. I get it, it's having an impact on my finances. I understand that all of these things, I could be doing these other things if I wasn't playing the game. Thank you very much for the subscribe, Goku. Understanding that allows for us to grow. And when I'm telling you, there's a difference between an exchange and a sacrifice. When you sacrifice something and you see the dividend that is paid back into your life, to understand that you sacrifice this thing for your purpose, that you remove this thing. And there's a difference from exchanging. We get it. We have to exchange time for currency. If we work a job, that's what we do. We exchange our time for money, right? But then when we say, okay, well, what else am I exchanging? What other things are give and take? Well, I'm into a relationship. And so in order for this relationship to work, I understand I'm going to have to give certain things up in my life that used to be a part of my life, like looking for a relationship. As interesting or as fun as that may have been during the time while you were doing it, once you're in a relationship, we understand we have to give it up. But that's different from sacrifice. And that sacrifice is saying, hey, here's something that has value to me. Here's something that I care about, but it is not currently a part of my purpose. It is not leading me towards the goal that I want to go to. I can do it. It's not killing me. It's not hurting me. It's not destroying me. It's not an addiction that's doing harm to my body. It's not something that's hurting other people. It's just the thing that I enjoy. But when we sacrifice it and we remove that thing from our life, and we see the exponential growth that comes from that, it is transformative in our lives, right? And so I want to, again, thank you so much for being here, guys. If you haven't had an opportunity to do so, please go ahead, drop us a thumbs up. If we can get a like, and then later, as I said before, you can take a look at the channel. Please consider subscribing to a channel as well. Time is valuable, right? Time is the most valuable thing because you don't get that time back. You do not get that time back. And so here's the thing, right? It's not second nature for everyone. So when I say that we have to be intentional, I mean that. And that's the last thing. That's what we covered this morning on this morning's walk and talk was focus, right? Because as you said, and I believe you said it earlier on, either Goku said it or you said it, where you said, well, yo, I have all of those things. I have courage. I have vision, I have focus, I have all three of these things, right? But do we have them in all areas of our life? Do we have them in our faith? Do we have them in our family? Do we have them in our finances? Do we have them in our fitness? Or are we only applying them to one area? Yes, might have been someone else. It was pretty high up, right? And so what happens is when we look at having discipline, we need to be able to apply it across the board in different places in the life. Right? And the reason that's important is because when it comes to focus, right? So as I said before, I had a gaming addiction. I had to accept that I had a gaming addiction. And it took me a while to get away from it because I literally went from gaming on console to gaming on my phone, right? And it was the same thing. It created the same space. It created the same void. It created tremendous difficulty in my marriage. And so then I had to understand, hey, how am I going to do better, right? So what is this? Ajobi says, time is valuable, but how can we overcome procrastination that's killing time? Get up and take action. I wish that there was a better way to say that. I believe Tim Robbins, I'm not a huge fan of Tim Robbins, but one of the things that he shares is that, come on, Blackbird. So one of the things, how are you doing, Mr. Unknown? Welcome in, brother. One of the things that Tim Robbins shared is that what you have to do is, he says he has a 5-second rule. And he says, count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whatever that thing is, get up and do it, right? If you're able to overcome the fear, if you're able to understand that there's something that you're trying to achieve and there's something that's standing in the way of it, then you attack it. Like procrastination is driven by fear. Procrastination is, and it'll mask itself in so many different ways. And procrastination will always have excuses. Procrastination is the ultimate excuse. It's the ultimate fear disguised as a reason, and it's an excuse. And there's always, oh, well, I know I should be doing it, but I can do it later. Or, oh man, like I really don't feel like doing it right now. You got, at some point, you just have to get up and do it, right? So the moment's not going to get easier. And I'm telling you, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. And it's not like everything is going to be able to come over. For example, my wife and I, we went out and bought a toilet that I'm supposed to be installing in the upstairs bathroom in our house. And I've been procrastinating on it. I've been doing other things. We bought a weight bench for Christmas that we put into our garage. And I was supposed to build that in Christmas. And it got built yesterday. So I understand when there are things that we may struggle with. Doesn't mean we're going to be perfect. Doesn't mean everything is going to happen immediately, but it does mean that at some point we're going to have to take the job. We're going to have to take this step. We're going to have to stop making excuses. We're going to have to stop finding reasons why not to do it. We're going to have to stop. We're going to have to be self-aware. We're going to have to be self-accountable. And then we're going to have to say, well, the only reason it's not done is because I'm not doing it. Right? I'm glad that there's no other way to say that. The only way to say that is if you need to get something and you're procrastinating, then procrastination is a big word for you're making excuses. Do it. Oh, it's hard. Like you don't know what my life is like. I don't need to, right? I don't need to know what your life is like. If there's something that you need to do and you know you need to do it and you're not doing it, you're the problem. Right? And so that's why being self-aware and self-accountable is so important, right? I know why that weight bench didn't get built in my garage, because I didn't build it, right? It's my freaking Christmas gift. Build it. Well, you don't build it, you can't work out on it. So if you're wondering why your workouts are sucking and you haven't made the improvement you wanted to make because you didn't do what you needed to do in the time that you needed to do it. Now do it. Now get to the next thing. Let's move on, right? It doesn't take forever. It's not going to kill you. It's actually going to help you grow stronger. The thing that we have to figure out and the thing that we have to understand is that all of these things require discipline. And once that discipline kicks in, once we apply that discipline to that thing, we can apply discipline into every area of our life. And once we start applying discipline to every area of our life, we're going to start to see exponential growth. We're going to start to see immediate benefit. I talk to my children all the time about fitness, being more active, doing more things, caring about themselves, spending more time on themselves than they do on their jobs, because my oldest son is 15. And so he has things, they go to school and the gym tells them, hey, you need to run this and you need to do this and you need to get here. And I'm like, don't worry about the gym. Work on yourself, work on your own fitness. And when you improve your fitness, you're going to not have to worry about whether or not what they're telling you to do at school, because you'll be able to exceed any expectations they set for you. Guess what? I didn't build this weight bench. And then when I did build the weight bench, guess who was the first person to work out on it? My 15-year-old son. So what is that telling me? That's telling me I'm standing in the way of my son's development that I am preaching to him about to be focused on, right? And so these are the types of things that I'm talking about, is that when we find out we do investments in one area, that we're doing investments and we're seeing returns in multiple areas. So me taking the time to sit down and do the work that I need to do for myself, that I need to do, that I was supposed to be doing, by me doing it, I'm also seeing a benefit in my son's life, immediate. This thing that's like, oh, it's cold. Yeah, it's cold to go outside. Weight bench should have been built. If the weight bench was built, my son wouldn't have had to worry about what December, what January felt like, what February felt like, how cold it was in March, how rainy it was in April. Like, he wouldn't have to worry about any of these things, because he would have already had the tool available to him. And this is what it means for us to be able to have self-awareness and self-accountabilities, right? And so now, the other thing that we're going to continue to do, yeah, Catherine, don't pay any attention to it. Hey, April, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Hey, April, if you get a chance, could you please drop a thumbs up? Let us know where you're checking in from and what time it is. And so the thing is, we want to always continue to make sure we're growing, that we're focused on our development. And that's what we covered this morning, is focus. And focus requires intention. Focus requires that we understand that we're trying to get to somewhere. Focus means that we know that we are growing ourselves and we're growing our life. Focus means that there is a vision, there is a plan, there is a map laid out. And so many people in the world are on autopilot. They want to hand their life off to other people for other people to manage. The same way so many people, oh, I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive to work, right? This is a 15-minute drive. And so the whole point behind letting the car take over and drive for you is so that you could take your time and focus more on building yourself, right? And then the first thing that we saw as soon as self-driving cars came out was people falling asleep. They're using the car to give them more time to do less with their life. This tool that was supposed to be provided to give you additional time for you to focus on improving and growing your life, making yourself stronger, increasing your value, increasing your worth, developing yourself, you are doing the exact opposite and you are going to sleep. This is the type of thing that happens when you don't have focus and you want to hand off everything to everybody else to do, and you don't see what your plan is, you don't see the direction that you're headed in, then you're not going to be able to achieve your goals. You can't have an expectation that life is going to do it for you. And it's not just, here's the thing, a lot of it happens in the church. For all of my brothers and sisters in Christ, all of my Bible thumping, Sunday morning, altar call, testimony telling, fire and brimstone, loving, God-loving Christians, all of my brothers and sisters in Islam, all of my Jewish brothers and sisters, everybody out there of every faith, when you keep talking about God got me and you ain't got you, then God ain't got you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna fake the funk on you. I'm not even gonna act like it's a game. You keep talking about God got me, but you ain't got you. You expecting God to pick you up and sit you on top of a lottery ticket? God is here to let you know that spiritually you are protected, you are sound, so you don't have to worry about the stones and the spears that come in like April in the chat. You don't have to worry about people saying things about you. You don't have to worry about people who don't want you to do well. You don't have to worry about people who want to set up stumbling blocks and things to get in your way. God got you in the way that understand that if I continue to work, I continue to do the work that I'm supposed to do on my purpose, I don't have to worry about man being able to stand in my way, right? And so what that means is we need to be able to take the steps, right? You can't pray, God, help me find a job to secure my family, and you haven't done any of the work necessary to turn yourself into the person who can handle having the job, right? And so when we talk about focus and we talk about intention, being with intention, we have to understand that we have to be there. What do we get there, Blackberry? You said, God also says, take step one to me, and I will take step two. I will take 2 steps to you. Muslims also believe this, another proof that we need to take the first step. Indeed, sorry, my son got my phone and no, he didn't say the N-word, but April, keep an eye on your son. He called me Mr. Slave. I'm just being completely direct. You can probably go back up in the chat, but don't worry about that. One of the things that we want to do is we just want to make sure that in our life, we're being positive, right? We want to make sure in our life that we are being intentional in our focus on our life and our growth, and understanding that the things that we do that are about, indeed, KBC, indeed, had to be learned somewhere. Diddy would not approve. Blackbird, come on. So what is this telling us? What is this telling us about our actions? What is this telling us about our behaviors? What is this telling us about what we need to do in order for us to continue to be productive, in order for us to continue to grow, in order for us to achieve our purpose? It means that what we have to do is we have to understand that it takes courage, right? It takes courage to be able to overcome challenges, just to go out and to not only overcome challenges, but seek out those challenges, seek out those areas of growth for ourselves, and take the steps in those areas to become better. And it's going to take vision. We're going to have to understand where it is we're trying to go. And once we come to a realization that we understand that we know where it is we're trying to go, we have a vision and we know what the path is going to be in order for us to be getting there, the next thing that we have to do is we have to understand it takes focus and it takes intention. It's not going to happen accidentally. It's not going to happen because we want it to. It's not going to happen because somebody we're just wishing for it or hoping for it. We have to understand it takes intention. So it doesn't matter if we're trying to stop drinking, drinking, if we're trying to get a new job, if we're trying to be healthier, if we're trying to save money, if we are not intentional about the actions that we take in order to achieve these goals, we cannot expect to see that return, right? And then that's what that focus is about. These are all the things that we covered this weekend. I want you to be able to take these things that we covered. I want you to be able to take these 3 competencies, apply them to your discipline, look for challenges, look for the things that you have not been doing. Look for the things that have been standing in your way. Look for the things that are areas of a need or growth for you. Understand that in order for you to be able to achieve or live the life of purpose and achieve the happiness and see the growth, not only in your family and your relationships, but in your finances and in your legacy, understand that you can take these and start the week strong. You should never lament Monday. If you've had Saturday and Sunday, for those of you who have Saturday and Sunday off, and Monday is an opportunity for you to get back at the grind, understanding that going into Monday is an opportunity for you to exponentially increase your productivity and the return on your investment on your own life. No one should go into Monday, oh, Monday's so bad. What are you doing your weekend? Because you have to understand Monday through Friday is when you get to show out. Monday through Friday is your opportunity for you to come in and you say, hey, look at who I'm becoming. Look at who I am. Look at how this is going to be able to minister and give into other people's lives. And then look at the return it's going to have in my life, right? And so that's going to be a major way for us to grow. Should I punish my son or no? What do you say? Captain Backward said much better. I think you being his teacher, he will be punished plenty in life for using that word. Correct. I believe both of those statements are true. One of the things, so here's the thing. April, I'm not sure what your ethnicity is. I'm not sure anything about you. I do know this, and I've shared this before, and this is something that I recently posted about, and this is a conversation that I had to have with myself. Your children will watch you more than your children will listen to you. It's not about punishments. When my 15-year-old son started to act in a certain way towards his younger siblings, I had to identify he was acting towards his siblings the way I had acted towards him. His manner of speaking to them, even though he's not an adult, he wasn't a parent, he didn't understand where my frustrations or what I was trying to do when I said it in the way that I said it, but he immediately started to act in that way. So when my 15-year-old son, as I said before, I had a gaming addiction. So when my 15-year-old son, my 11-year-old son started to become of age and their primary focus was gaming, it wasn't because I told them to, it was because they saw me do it. And so punishing your son, this isn't about punishing your son. This is always about the same thing. And I tell everybody the same thing. Everything that we do has to be with who we are showing ourselves to be, right? It has to do with who we are becoming. It has to do with who we are in front of people when people are looking at us. But who we are in front of people when we're looking at us is more important as who we are when no one is looking at us. Because if your son is saying the N-word from somewhere, doesn't matter if it's television, doesn't matter if it's the husband, you, friends, somewhere he's been exposed to an environment that makes him believe that not only is it okay to say these things, but it's okay to say it publicly. It's okay to show it. And then there has to be a difference. So yes, trust me, you're not born, no one's born racist. No one's born evil. No one's born hating. These are all things that are learned behavior, right? And so how do we fix that? If we are the person who's teaching the behavior, I cannot have an expectation for my son from a behavior that he learned directly from me, right? And so how do we get better? No, I am not from Canada. We are not from Canada. But the thing that you have to understand is your son at some point is going to have to live his life. But right now, at whatever age your son is right now, you are the parent. You are the model. Video games aren't his role model unless you let them be. His peers are not his role models unless you let them be, right? And so this is where self-awareness and self-accountability comes in. I'm not a big critic. I don't go on this platform to criticize people. I don't criticize their lifestyles. I don't criticize the people who come on and say negative things. I didn't criticize the guy who came in earlier and he chose to have a swastika as his profile image. Really don't criticize him because he doesn't understand the history of the swastika, is that it was assimilated by the Germans to represent hate, and it's actually a symbol of love from ancient Egypt. It's a whole bunch of other stuff, whole different story. But what I'm trying to say is I'm not on the platform to criticize. I'm not on the platform to demonize. I'm on the platform to uplift. I'm on the platform to share. I'm on the platform to help us all grow and to get stronger. The focus here, because you are the parent. Gotta go. Peace, Blackbird. Thank you for stopping in, bro. I'll check you out next time. One of the things that we have to understand and one of the things that we have to focus on and we have to know is the work starts with us. So your son is becoming someone. How big of a hand, how strong of a hand are you in his life to help him become it? One of the things that I've learned over my time is parenting, over my time is working on myself and trying to make myself stronger. One of the things my wife had to share with me is as things got difficult, because I want my children to be happy, because I want my children to smile and to laugh, and I want my children to love me, they don't understand what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. They don't understand what they don't understand. So it requires direction in their life. Are they going to be happy with everything I tell them to do? No. So what? I'm your parent. I'm raising you. I'm going to instill certain things into your life. I'm going to teach you and I'm going to direct you to live in a certain way. You have to be your child, live in them, not just through them. Sit down, talk lovingly, like you're talking to yourself, because you are. Exactly. But Hot Wing, I'm not agreeing with everything you said in the chat so far, but that right there, that's a hot take. So what does that mean for us? That means before you can sit down and talk to your child lovingly, before you can be able to engage with your child with respect and love and be able to ask your child to be self-aware and accountable, you need to take that moment to do that same thing with yourself. Be self-aware, be self-accountable. Are there moments, are there spaces where I'm not there for my child? Am I not showing up in enough ways? What do I need to do in order to do so? Am I showing up too much for my child? Am I being too protective? Am I not allowing my child to fail? Am I not giving my child the opportunity to prove themselves? And then as you work on yourself, as we do work on ourselves, it allows for us to become greater parts of our children's lives and assist our children in the work that they do on themselves. I do know, guys, that from what we've talked about over the weekend, I understand and I believe that discipline is going to be the greatest way for you to be able to find any focus area of your life and to be greatly successful and to exponentially increase the return. The discipline dividend system is driven by this. It's taking these simple 4 pillars of repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance, and it's coupling them with the competencies of leadership, the primary 2 being self-aware and self-accountable, and you use those to apply them to anywhere in your life to get productivity, to get a return, to get a growth, to get to see the development of your life into what you want your life to be, guys. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on. I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't had an opportunity yet, please drop a thumbs up. Also, please take a look at the page, like, subscribe, and share. Let your friends know we're here. I'm on every day from 4:30 until 5 a.m. on the morning walk and talks. And I will also have these recaps a couple of times a week just to make sure that we're covering the areas that we're working on, the areas that we're growing in, and making sure that we're staying focused. I appreciate you guys being here. It's always a blessing. Thank you so much. You guys take care. You have a great remainder of the day. Goodbye, guys. Take care. God bless.